Hey, this is my Random Report sports special. I want to do it over because the other one was kind of long, and I'm going to try to run through it this time. So first things first, I want to talk about the NBA season. I'm only going to talk about the sports that I watch, that I really watch, and the NBA is the main one. Well, the season, it was a lockout, and we thought that there wouldn't be a season, but we got a season, and I think it lived up to the hype. Some people would say it didn't, but I think it did, because, a lot of people were being watched. Steve Nash, Grant Hill, the older guys, and the Suns in general, because, people were thinking, Nash would finally stop being so humble and go to a team that can get him, what he deserves, a ring. Jason Kidd finally got his last year, so, people were wanting to see Steve Nash get that ring, and I don't think it would have happened this year, but they came very close to making the playoffs. And I think with, at least one more person, somebody, I would say they need better backup, better bench players. Because the starting lineup, it's a nice lineup, Channing Frye, when he's 100%, definitely a great shooter. That's something that nobody expected. 2 years ago, when he became a lights-out three-point shooter, and before then, I don't remember his exact range, but all I know is Channing Frye wasn't known as a three-point shooter. He was pretty much one of those draft picks that people kind of forgot. And then, he just elevated his game, his shooting game, and I guess he's a decent defender. And, that's what the Suns needed. I think with him out there, they would have definitely had a better chance to beat the Jazz. And not to take anything from Paul Millsap and Al Jefferson, they're definitely in probably the top 5 center power forward combinations in the entire NBA. Derrick Rose, that right there is kind of heartbreaking for Chicago fans, because the Bulls, to me, are a team to win. In my opinion, they don't need Derrick Rose to win. However, they don't need Derrick Rose to be a playoff team. What they do need Derrick Rose for is to be a championship team. And without Derrick Rose, their star out there, when it comes down, if they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, it comes down to them, and since everybody's, all riding the Heat's coattail, I'm just going to say the Heat. If it comes down to the Bulls and the Heat are going to win it, because of the fact Derrick Rose isn't out there. And in order for Chicago to be a championship team, they're going to need Derrick Rose. I don't think in NBA history there's been a team that lost their star player and was still able to go on to win a championship. Sometimes there's the argument of the Pistons winning the NBA championship even though they didn't have a star, but that's not fully true, because Chauncey Billups is definitely a star in his own right. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer one day. He's one of the more humble guys in the NBA. And speaking of which, if the Clippers had Chauncey Billups right now, Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, DeAndre Jordan would have an easier time. And I think it would definitely defeat the Grizzlies. Grizzlies are great, but well, they're good. I wouldn't say great. They're good, but I think the Clippers would definitely defeat them. Okay, so I would say my pick for, the Celtics, they actually, I think if Ray Allen, I don't know how severe his injury is, but if he can come back, that would make it easier for the Celtics. A lot more easier. Because Avery Bradley off the bench is a beast, as everyone has seen this season. I know you can't compare video games to real life, but just playing with Avery Bradley on NBA 2K, I've seen, how much of a beast he can be in a game, and I was just wondering, could he play like that in real life? And then when Ray Allen did go down, he was the one guy to step up in the season and help push the Celtics to the playoffs. And him being young, he was the thing that they needed for, all of the older, the veterans on the Celtics. So I do hope that the Celtics beat the Hawks, even though, the Hawks are my hometown team, and, Josh Smith, he does deserve, to go to the second round, and also Grayson McGrady. I don't care much for Joe Johnson, but McGrady and Smith, yeah, they do deserve to go on. I recently heard that Josh Smith went down with an injury. I don't know how severe that is, but I think Garnett could definitely take advantage of that. And if he's not healthy, there's no way the Hawks are going to win. Just having Joe Johnson, because I believe Al Horford is injured as well. So, Joe Johnson isn't going to be able to do it alone. So, I think the Celtics will win this series. The team that I hope to be in the Eastern Conference Finals is the Celtics, and probably, I guess, the Heat. But if not, then I would say the Heat. And I don't know. I mean, it's definitely going to be tight. Orlando, Big Baby Davis, I didn't expect too much when the Celtics moved him and got Brandon Bass. I thought it was an upgrade for the Celtics. But now, even though Big Baby doesn't rebound, he can score. He has a decent mid-range jumper. And, he can get the shots that he wants. He gets to the line just as much as any power forward. So, that's a good thing for Orlando. The reason that they won't beat the Indiana Pacers is because Indiana is young and hungry, and the absence of the Dwight Howard enables Roy Hibbert to just pound whoever is guarding him. So that's that. So I don't think that the Magic will defeat the Pacers. I believe it's going to be Heat, Celtics, or Heat, possibly Pacers. I mean, if Will Hibbert, you know, can step up and cement his spot as one of the best centers right now. I think Danny Granger could do a better job than Carmelo is currently doing. You know, the Knicks are basically out, and it's sad because the whole Jeremy Lin thing, you know, New York is finally talking about their team being back on top, and then the overnight sensation became an overnight nightmare. So, then then Amari. With Amari out, Lynn out, there's no way for them to come back. And then it's a 3-0 lead, so it's basically over for the Knicks once again. So I believe it will be the Heat and the Celtics, or the Heat and the Pacers in Eastern Conference Finals. Over to the West, I think you know, LA just might defeat the Nuggets, but even if the Lakers defeat the Nuggets, it's not really proving much, because the Nuggets are a young team, but they're also hungry, and Ty Lawson can prove that he can be that star for this team. He can be the Chauncey Billups of the Nuggets. He just needs the rest of his team to step up. He needs somebody to be that Ben Wallace, preferably JaVale McGee. And also somebody to be that Rip Hamilton, that second scorer. And I don't know who that's going to be, but somebody's going to have to help, you know, step up and pick up the slack. Chandler Wilson, before going to China, was, you know, one of the most underrated players, and he needs to find that again. And you know, I do think that the Nuggets can beat the Lakers, but I don't know if they're experienced enough to beat the Lakers. So this is part one of my video, and I will conclude the NBA, you know, my thoughts on the NBA on the next, and the rest of the sports that I watch.